inside functionality, the terminal, the baggage systems, the airside, what our future expansion options are, and then constructability, and then obviously program costs. So it reuses the concourses. It does build a 2-level processor. And the reason for that processor and trying to separate, today you have your single loaded roadway, but don't forget we're increasing capacity by 40%. So I'm not trying to solve today's roadways, I'm trying to solve tomorrow's roadways. The next option was option B, with the central processor, reutilizes the horseshoes at A and B. And once again, it's a 2-level facility in order to deal with both the outbound customer and the inbound customer. One of the things we realized is looking at the major renovations is, in fact, that they were larger. And the reason they were larger is because we filled in the horseshoes and we needed that functionality because today it doesn't function from an airline perspective. So we knew we were going to end up having a larger footprint. At the time we all started this, we had no idea how much more, but at the end it's approximately 20%. And really, a lot of that is for 2 reasons. And I'm using MRA since that's kind of where this focus is going. One is I have a duplicity of function. So whereas our functional requirements assumed that we could do it all in one place, with MRA or a split processor, we had to do it in 2 places. So as a result, you don't have the same level of efficiency. That drives more square footage. And then I think the other element was, as long as we saved the horseshoes, because of its geometry, we were going to end up with some extra space. Look at this plan, and I understand that one of the major goals is to save what you have in this convenience and being able to walk from the curb to the gate. This scheme doesn't achieve that. In fact, none of the 9 achieved that. None of the 25 achieved that, because it's driven by security and having to process those customers differently today than when this facility was built over 40 years ago. So any major renovation scheme that we looked at, no matter how hard we tried, we couldn't save that. And this scheme doesn't do that either. You go through this process and you go up and you end up on the north end of this horseshoe, and then you have to work your way down. You haven't saved your walking distances. From an airline perspective, once again, and as we went through this review with the carriers, this most resembles A. It does require 2 terminals to be developed. This concept doesn't address everything, and by the time you do what you need to do, you're kind of in the same place. The Crawford concept doesn't quite work as well as some of the other things that they studied. That the major renovations, they're just less efficient, and they cost more. And not just from an initial capital cost perspective, but also they cost more to operate and maintain and to finance. And quite honestly, we think at the end of the day, it's a lower level customer service, which is not what you were looking for. The airlines have actively engaged with the airport in the city for almost 2 years, if not more than 2 years. In what we thought was a very objective process, and which has been a very objective process. And the carriers just don't believe that the major renovations are going to address your needs as a community. The airlines have entered into this process and are prepared to make a major investment in Kansas City and its airport facilities. The goal is to establish an affordable terminal program and that meets your needs, your future needs, not just today's needs, but your future needs.